George, how's it going? Not bad. Pretty productive day today. I'm happy. How about yours? Did you move to EU? I am from the EU. I live here. I'm English, unfortunately. What do you mean move? Hi Tuki, hi George. How's it going? What do you mean move? Hi Ray, how's it going? Do you play Final Fantasy XIV? No, I've always been on EU. I'm confused by that question, I'm not gonna lie. I've always been on EU. I have an alt on Hyperion, I think, but I rarely ever play it. Yeah, Hyperion. Yeah, I live in London. EU is home. Sadly. Jolly Hole, London. We were friends, and when I looked at your character, it had no server on it. What do you mean looked at it? Where? I am confusion. Oh shoot, did I just... Okay. Are you in the game now? Or where are you? Are you in EU? Because I've always been on EU. I've never moved my character actually. Ever. I've never moved my character. Well, not this character at least. Not this one. I've never moved this one. Actually, I've never moved any of them. Okay, welcome in. I hope you've had a great week. I am gonna try and start MSQ today, but I have zero to little memory of what happened in the previous patch, so I'm gonna go to one of the ends to do a bit of recap first before we get started. Oh shoot, I forgot YouTube. I always forget YouTube. Yeah, to do a bit of recap on where we are in the story, just to jog my memory. What do you mean? When I play this game, I play it every day. What do you mean? You're acting like you were just here for the first time. Did we raid together? Hi Phenom, how's it going? Thank you Tiki for the streak. I'm pretty sure we've raided together before, no? No, you're not. Why are you lying? No lie. I'm pretty sure we've raided together, and when I raid, I'm like 110% in, okay? It was just, I think the first, heavyweight, tier. I think I did the first one. I did 1 to 4. And when it got to 5, I struggled because, Party Finder was really, really bad. Nobody was playing, at least not on light. Like I did 5 from like start to finish, but I couldn't get it clear. I think I just got a bit frustrated after a while, and I just kind of just stopped trying altogether. Yeah, I play this game. I am loyal. When I'm in, okay? Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna go to one of the inns and try and recap the story real quick. Oh, wrong mute. What am I trying to mute? The browser. Where's the browser? Oh. The browser. Weird. Hi Ultra, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. Hopefully the music is not crazy loud. I know where she's from, but I friended a tune. Oh right. It might be my Hyperion one then. It might be the Hyperion one, which I haven't played in forever. It could be that one. Lesbian, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the sub.
A character slays as always. Gonna lurk BCM super sleepy Noobtoons love tighty for the streams.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Thank you. Enjoy your lurk, appreciate the lurk. Thank you so much. Sorry, getting a bit distracted now. Okay, so okay, let's close this. I look very washed out, but it's fine. Actually, I still don't have the chat for the YouTube live. It's going. I can relate. I didn't put that on. Not me getting the ad for Tinder. Lord have mercy. Livin, thank you so much for the gifted sub. Oh my gosh, I completely missed that as well. Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you so much. It doesn't say who's got the gift though. Oh, there it is. Techno. Thank you, Techno. Enjoy your emotes. Thank you, Levi. Almost there. Custom box. Name. Okay. Has everybody seen what I was up to over the weekend? I posted a video on YouTube, because I assume not a lot of people are on my No, I will not add you on Discord. I don't know you, mate. Like, the fuck? I will not add you on Discord. What is going on? I'm on No, I'm not. I just got an ad for Tinder. Maybe I should get on Tinder. You know? Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Okay, I think that's everything. I just need to turn on TikTok live. Yeah, I think it's sensing the desperation, right? It's like, come on, you need it. Get on it. What is you doing? Yo, I saw something. YouTube chat. No, YouTube chat is dead. There's nobody in there. Hi, George. Well, except George. Thank you. You did good. I was gonna say something. Oh right, I saw a video on TikTok. This is Final Fantasy XIV related, by the way. Apparently something happened in Japan where a group of people came together. It's probably popular lore, but I only just found out about it. Came together and built an FC house, and then the FC leader kicked everyone because they wanted money or something. I don't know. But then everybody came as a bold Rogadin and they took over the FC house. Is this popular lore? Does everybody know this lore? This is the first time hearing of it. There was a whole video and everything. I think I saved it as well. I was gonna post it in the Discord, but I forgot. Does anybody know this lore? Or do we have to find it and watch it? Let me see if I've got access to it. I might have saved it, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, found it. gonna put it in the Discord. Please. Final Fantasy XIV. Discord. Hey, Windows share. I've got Discord opened. It's been a long time hearing about it. Oh, you've heard about it before? I've only just heard about it a couple of days ago. Maybe yesterday, actually. Let's open this. Can I screen share? Window capture. Ignore the raging person in the Discord channel. That was Impaler's doing, not mine. He made me watch it as well. I feel sick. Yep. I need to mute the game. Hopefully it's not too loud.
When a corrupt guild leader was punished by an army of bald muscle men. In Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, one housing dispute spiraled into one of the funniest festivals in the game. A free company pooled money for months to buy one of the most expensive houses available. Everyone paid, everyone helped. But the moment the house was finished, the guild leader started kicking members out, claiming they didn't contribute enough. Screenshots leaked, forums exploded, and the housing saga was born. That's when the protests began. Players across Japan created identical characters, huge, bald, muscular Rogadin men. They logged in, they walked to the house, and they sat there.
I think Jamie would appreciate this lore
filled the
very
garden,
much.
the entrance, the stairs, even the beds. No insults, no chat spam, just an endless sea of bald heads staring at the house. The crowd grew so large it caused server
I've only just
lag.
heard about it. I've never heard about it
Streamers
before.
set up cameras, but all viewers saw were motionless bald muscle men. Then the protesters built a house next door, placed a cannon in the garden, and aimed it directly at the guild house.
And also, the graphics
absurd.
looks really, really old. Like, I was looking at the video and I was like, okay, this looks like 14, but it's giving the vibe of Final Fantasy XI because it looks like really, really old graphics.
It was intimidating, and it worked. This silent
caption.
protest became known as the Hagelga Festival, and a legend forever etched into Final Fantasy XIV history, when a corrupt guild leader was punished by an army of bald muscle men.
Okay, that is all the lawyer gain out of me today. I thought that was good to know, and I thought it was funny at the time anyway. Right, so let us find the nearest hotel and binge some current lore videos. My character looks dope. Oh my gosh. The leader was a Lala. Oh, that's so unfortunate. They're probably all towering over the Lala then. Yikes. They won't even be able to see what's happening. Okay, let's go to Limsa. Thank you, George. My body is still aching, by the way. Like, I'm still in pain. I'm not even joking. There's this weird pain in my arm, which I don't remember bumping it or anything, but my hand hurts, like, really bad. And also my thighs. I was barely even moving. And I wasn't even hitting, like, you get what I mean? I wasn't hitting the right downstairs. So the fact that I'm in pain is actually mind-boggling to me. Really, really shocking. It takes TikTok bring up old drama and acting like it's new. Oh no, I don't think they said it was new. They did call it lore, you know. I didn't expect it. Cause obviously the video was quite old as well, so I was just like, I actually thought it was Final Fantasy XI because of how old the video looked. But then I looked at the tags, I was like, no, this is definitely 14. Why does it look so old? Reply to an in. Yes. Hi Akoga, how's it going? Welcome in. It happened in the Heavens Ward. Oh wow, okay, that makes sense. I think I'm just spoiled by the whole is it 12? The graphic update from a couple of weeks ago or months ago, sorry. Why are you wearing irons on your nose? Why not buy a gold? How can you tell what kind of metal it is? Like, are you okay? Are you actually okay? 8 years old, that's mad. Thank you, George. How can you tell it's just metal and not gold? I've been wearing the same hoop for... I don't know, I would say over 10 years now. I'm not even joking. I don't think it's metal. If it was metal, it would have eroded already. Or at least given me an infection, because it doesn't take too long before my body starts to react to stuff. That's not well plated. Hi Mira, how's it going? I wish my camera was here. Actually, can I pull this out maybe? Actually, let me pull it. Yeah, let me pull it out here. Perfect. I can see it. Right. Huh? Post-dawn trail. There we go. So I think I'm just gonna go for the last 5 maybe. Like I just need to jog my memory really. Let's just go 1. Debating whether getting back on 14 or WoW. I'm back, so I'm checking out a few streams. Okay. I've never played WoW, so I can't. I can't have an input. Not bad, Mira, thanks. How about yours?
Sorry to drag you out here, but I thought it best you see for yourself.
Death is your constant companion.
Is the audio levels good? Or is it too low?
Though you toil with diligence, death may come ere your reward is bestowed.
I can't find the mic for
Though your
this camera.
groundworks be
I don't know where I
poised
put
for
it.
completion, death may come ere you wake the following morn.
Oh, thank you. I see. Where was the last time you played?
Enjoy a life of peace and good fortune.
Or when?
Death needs but one instant to claim you. Your body's a
I
weak,
don't
your
play
heart,
WoW
your
either,
brain.
but I'm not
Every
going to
fragile
act like what
organ
it is the
rolls
end
the
all be
dice
all.
from moment
Fair.
to moment. Sheer chance deciding if they function.
Is it just me or everything looks so much better? Or did I put all my graphics to max or something?
Be you stoic or generous or righteous, no
I
virtues
shouldn't
to
because my
yourself
PC is gonna
with
struggle.
little reckoning. The
Oh, I need to
choice
get rid of
is
those
made without
glasses. It doesn't go
reason.
with this glam.
The end is cloaked in terror.
Oh, well this
That
is
what
the
it
previous one. This is
means to die.
7.3. I'm just watching the previous cutscenes. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe I did. I
The
mean, my
announcement
PC
began
sounds
after we
like it's
finished
about to
our
take
meeting
off,
with
so
Gossamer.
probably.
As for
I
its
probably turned it
source,
all off.
well,
Thank you, Mira. Hi,
Alex.
Ankush. Hello.
There is no shame in being afraid.
Hi,
It is
Abida.
that very fear which
How's
will
it
drive
going?
you to conquer death. Let us set a new course for mankind. Let us preserve our existence unto perpetuity. Hope for it, wish for it, pray for it. We will become endless. With evolution's brilliance,
Need
will
help
we
with
banish
yours?
the
I'm
ever-present
okay.
darkness of
I'm good.
mortality.
I get pretty overwhelmed very fast, so it's better I don't have too many people,
change isn't easy.
especially not this time of the day.
No one ever wants to take the first step. But this is the right path for us. What other way could there be? I'm gonna do it. I'm going to register.
Wow, Wuglamat.
Oh, that works
Couldn't have
now.
come at a better time. Please, you have to let us move to Tuliolal.
Tulilal.
It's too dangerous to stay here. Who knows when the
Oh,
next
she's
century will
stunning.
turn on us?
Hi, Cecile.
Even if we wanted to become endless,
Hi,
there are no more neo-regulators to be
Onias.
had.
Hello.
Fleeing is our only option.
How's it going?
If the solution was as simple as leaving, then we'd all have left already. Did you not hear the announcement? For the living, death is a foregone conclusion. No matter where we go or who we shelter with, we won't get another chance like this to overcome our fate.
Easy for you to say when you have that regulator.
The Landsguard are on their way as we speak, and arrangements have been made to see that you all will be safely evacuated. Tulishola will aid you in whatever way we can. So please, remain calm.
I want to help Alexandria. I want to save its people. But what can I do? I am not their queen.
You will always be my queen. Okay, first of all, need to get rid of his glasses. Okay, because what the hell? Ugh. Okay, I need to close this. Post MSQ, close. Don't want to see that in a cutscene ever again. Not on this glam, at least. Okay, let's try again. 2 posts. That was a very long cutscene. Potential violation of spam. The description of full moon. If I can't pearl waters is still not enough to describe. Thank you.
I see.
Thank you for the follow,
A
Cookie.
difficult situation. In the absence of an official sovereign, I agree that it is not preservation's place to dictate the future of our nation. However, I also cannot simply take a side and declare my support for your efforts to defeat Calyx.
Is that because of the new regulator you wear?
I've yet to register it. I find myself caught between the fear of dying and the desire to carry out the duties
What was that
of
reaction?
governance.
Reaction to what? Oh, because of what you said about the pro thing. I just didn't know what you were getting
My
at. Sorry.
greatest concern is how we
I
shall
only read
stem
like the
this
first few sentences, and I wasn't sure if I want to keep reading
ever-increasing
out
tyrant of
loud or
mortality when
not.
becoming endless is no longer an option.
Hi, sheep. How's it going? You doing good?
And that's to say nothing of the recent slaughter
Am I a
committed by our
girl?
own
Are you into
soldiers.
girls?
The fact that such violence was perpetrated for the very purpose of creating
Maybe?
endless will paradoxically
know.
make it more difficult to endorse your chosen course. It may not seem logical, but for those who lost friends and family in the attacks, halting the creation process altogether would render the deaths of their loved ones utterly meaningless.
Thank you, Jods.
Is it not cruel to rob them of what little solace they could claim,
Hi, Straw
when we
Hat.
have
How's it
only just
going?
learned what it is to mourn?
Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it.
Tell me,
Thank you so
how
much.
are we meant to overcome such tragedies?
We stop begging others to teach us for a start.
In the originals. Originals? What do you mean originals? Do I know
For
what
the
Ramadan
longest
means?
time, we've been
Not really.
protected
I know
by
what
Queen
happens,
Sphene and
but
the
I don't know what it
systems
means.
put in place
I'm not
by our
Muslim.
forebears. The hardships.
Do I need a
and
professional photographer?
responsibilities of life
No.
were distant things, and we felt
Not right now,
entitled
thank
to
you.
our comforts.
The
Even as we
original
barely
Final
noticed those
Fantasies.
who risked
I mean, the
everything
story's
to keep us
good.
sheltered.
Why would you ignore it? Why would you not
But
listen?
no more. From now on, we need to learn on
Well,
our
except
own.
you're playing for another reason. Like, if you're playing for combat, then yeah,
How
I
to
guess
live
it makes
with the
sense to
promise
ignore
of
it.
death.
There's something for
How
everyone.
to
You know what I mean?
endure the pain of loss.
I like the story.
We may never learn to love such things,
I also don't really like the combat, so,
but we
you know,
may learn to
win-win,
survive
I
them.
guess.
The people beyond the barrier, even the Alexandrians of old, they've all had to live with these
Somebody
fears.
posted
There's
something
no
that it
reason
hasn't
we
shown on
can't do it
screen,
too.
so I don't know what that is. Unfortunately.
What are you all doing here?
Malachite called us in, and the Oblivion members briefed us on the current crisis. You don't stand idly by while
The
your
twins are
house
so
burns
cute, oh
down.
my gosh.
We came together and thought about how we could help.
I play for combat, but I try so
Long
hard to see
story
through
short,
all the dialogue. That's
We've
fair.
decided to join the fight alongside Oblivion.
It is quite a lot. I think I had a community member
I
play
say
through the
fight,
entire thing
but
recently,
we're well
and
aware of
it
how
took them
little
like
use
what,
we'd
9
be in
months maybe.
actual combat.
Which is it's not an easy feat. Hi
A battle of
Italian, how's it going?
ideas, on the other
I mean
hand.
Pierre.
Now that we might be
Hi,
qualified to do
Pierre.
something about. We'll talk to our neighbors and do our best to quell their fears. Convince them to make the most of this life and enjoy all it has to offer. Perhaps that will help to ease your burden.
It certainly will. Even if a few are assuaged by your words, it will make things easier.
Thank you. I hope work is going okay. Wait, are you working on site now? I always assumed like you were remote or something. Or at least freelancing. Do you have
Those
a
who have already
workspace now?
registered will be difficult to sway.
Oh, look at
but
this
there are still
cute
many
bottle
who
that I
waver.
got on Saturday. On Sunday, sorry. Just cute stickers.
Those are the ones we'll concentrate on.
I swear I get like a new bottle and then I use it over and over again for like a whole month, and then
Gossip. If
I just
you
was interested in
truly
using it.
care for the people of Alexandria, then now's the time to start thinking of
Strange
ways
behavior.
to prevent more deaths.
I think it's laziness from wanting to wash it. Maybe that's it. And I have so many. I get so many like bottles. I just move on to the next one. It is Final Fantasy XIV.
Were I to become endless at the expense of my countrymen's lives, I would regret it for the rest of my existence.
Yo, these cutscenes are long. Are we even gonna get to proper MSQ tonight? Or current MSQ?
Forgive my weakness. When the people have lost their way,
I edit at
it falls
home.
to the
Okay.
government to support and guide them. Alexandria can rise above this sorrow and find its way forward once more. Is that not so, Your Majesty?
Indeed it is.
Do, 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 do.
No, that wasn't. What I meant to say was.
Oh right, because they found out. Oh, they already know.
Amity, you used her name.
The perfect resemblance to our beloved Queen Sveen has not escaped our notice. Yet we
Took
also
forever to get
understand
here
that you are
because of the
not
blizzard
her.
this weekend. Wait,
Having to live
what do you
in
mean
secret,
here?
unable
Did you
to
send a message
share
that I
who
didn't
you
see?
Really are. That
Here
must have
where?
been hard on you.
On the streets of YouTube?
When you come back, please tell us all about yourself. I imagine yours is a rather outlandish story, but we're eager to hear it all the same.
Yikes.
You're one of us, an Alexandrian.
And I haven't seen a lick of snow
and
in
we
like,
don't
what, 3
abandon
years?
our own.
Hi Nixie, how's it going? Yes, I see. Have fun. Did you see the email I forwarded to you today?
Return. And when I
Check
do,
your spam folder.
I look forward to speaking with you all.
I think there might be more than one cutscene. Yeah. I'll keep going for another 9 minutes on the cutscenes or the self-line 3s. He's so fine.
Things seem much the same.
Not bad, thank you. Shivan? Hey. Ouch. Hi, David. How's it going? Okay. Do you think it's fake?
So listen.
Because I don't know. It might be.
More to fear than any other normal day. Deep breaths. We'll get through this.
You'd be telling them much the same if you were here. I suppose it falls to me now.
Yo, I need this. Did Square Enix make it already? And I need it to glow as well. Not just some plastic cheap stuff. Oh, right, okay. Where did that command come from? It's not even the right link. It's not. That's an old video. I'm not sure where that came from. Okay. Terminal. Yikes, there's quite a lot. Let's just jump to the last one. Whatever the last one is. Yeah, I don't know. If it's like a study, like you need a large like sample size, don't you, for studies? So I just assumed it might be worth it. Like, would the impact and change, even though it's on a minute level? Do you know what I mean? Ooh.
What is this reaction? An irregular factor in the equation. Eliminate her.
Not on my watch. Do you know who I am? Not with the chakrams. Well, this is not a grimoire, so, you know, that works.
Memories cannot be duplicated, but they can be transferred.
Like energy. It's all coming back to me now. so unimpressed. Right? Mr. Terminator is cool. Rob cat. He's a rob cat. Lamati.
I gave her my word. I promised I would protect her people.
And we will protect them together.
Yeah, new patch. Well, this is not the new patch. I'm just doing a bit of recap because I can't remember what happened. I mean, I can. I just need to jog my memory. How are you feeling today, Imperial?
The others.
I'm glad to hear that. Oh, I'm pissed. No, the chakrams. Thank you for the follow, Molly. Okay, we've got time for one more, so I'm just going to jump to the last one. And then move on to... Oh, never mind. She's my favorite love cat.
You're badly hurt.
Hi,
Lucky
Blue.
if you only broke a bone or two.
How can you tell what part of Final Fantasy you're in?
It won't
Like,
be
you're
long
doing
till your
something
fever
for... How can
rises.
you... I
We
tell
need to see
where
you
I
back to
am?
Tuliolo and into the care of a
Are you asking a serious question? Is that a serious question? Or are you joking? Like, I actually don't know. I think it tells you in the journal. Like, when you're picking up the quest, I think it tells you. And also, it tells you in the book. And in the book in the hotel. And...
Promise.
Yeah, when you pick up the quest as well, I think it tells you. Right? Or am I just making this up?
Thank you, Lamati.
I'll check. I'm at the hotel anyway. Right. It doesn't tell you in the book actually. It shows you what level, but it says post dawn trail. Is that enough? There's the main MSQs, and I think that's 0.0, and then everything after is the patches. Okay, I need to look in the journal. The journal. Can I see the journal? So like this, for instance. Oh, I have to close this. I'm gonna go to the Promise of Tomorrow after this. So... Right, it just says 100 actually. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, it just says the level. Yeah, I think I'm wrong actually. So there's a website, like when I was playing for the first time, there's a website on Google that tells you every list of MSQ quest there is. So I'm guessing that would be your best bet, really. And it breaks it down by patch number as well. Yeah, pretty much. You can also, the quest name as well. Like if you pick up the quest name, like this one says with the winds, it would just tell you. Oh, okay. Right, let's go to the last cutscene. And then we can go pick up with the winds. 3 minutes, enjoy. Should I go to the last one? Let's go to the last one. 7. Hi, Van and Jay. What's this live about? I'm playing a game. If you want to see the gameplay, can I get the link back?
This is absurd. I have neither heart nor lungs. I was overconfident. Prudent course would have been to wait until I'd calculated an insurmountable advantage. A rash decision. One perhaps influenced by the others and their developments.
Rash decisions. Very immature. I mean, he's a child.
But no matter.
Actually, is he a child? I mean, he's like, what, years and years old. And he's like a super genius as well, so...
Time and effort did I pour into this master plan?
I'm having tantrums.
I had it. I had it. At long last, I was to open a new path. Those imbeciles and their damnable heroics.
I'm glad, Talion. I mean, that was the goal, right? To get people back.
Already, have you? Such a keen sense of smell.
Who are you colluding with, Calix?
Yes, I will give my report, as is protocol.
Not so very smart then, is he?
Are apprised of the details.
God, I hope it's Xenos. Oh, I've missed him so much. I don't know why it would be Xenos, but I hope it's Xenos. Don't ask me why. I just miss seeing his face. Go at me. Okay, let us proceed to Zacturel. Also, anyone got a ride? I need Uber, please. Please support the less fortunate. This is Final Fantasy XIV. Welcome back. Yeah, I was saying, yeah, let's see what the quest says actually. Wait, what am I doing here? I thought I was going to Zacturel. Oh, okay. I need to teleport to Resolution. Are you still, is your internet still acting up? Why are you moaning like that? Are you good? They keep making weird noises all day. Resolution. Can you play Fashion by Cortis? I don't play music here, unfortunately. Is it too late to start the game? No, it isn't. There's loads of content to cover though, so it would take quite some time investment. That's just the only thing I would say. Hi, Pine Material, how's it going? Final leveled 2 of my... It's fine, I'm just not playing... Ah, okay, that's fair. I finally level 2 of my retainers to 100. I'm down to my last 2. How many retainers do you have? How many retainers do you have? Yeah, it's not too late. It's just if you have the time, there's so much that you need to do, or that you will get to do. Okay, so how much do you pay a month? So this one doesn't tell you the quest number as well. Right, yeah, it would just be the website really, I think. You would have to go through the website. Or just put the name of the quest into Google and it will tell you what MSQ or patch you're playing. Ronaldo, even though I don't know who Ronaldo is. It's so colorful, I love it. £18, damn, you got money. Good for you.
Every day.
Is this on 5? I will start 16. This is 14, but yeah, it is on PlayStation as well.
Beings like Calix be able to manipulate their fear and ignorance as he once did.
7 is great. 7 is amazing.
That being the case, Alize and I have come to a decision.
Again, that I have to click next.
We will depart Tural in the coming days. Other nations must be informed about Alexandria, a necessary step to ensure
PS3 version, damn. You must really like that pointy grapes. I fell off from where? When did I ever get somewhere that I had to fall off from? Please enlighten me, receding hairline. Do you not need to be up there to actually fall off? I'm so confused. I played for a few years on PlayStation 3 and I recently came back. Nice. Are you still on 3? Is this still on 3?
Then we shall return to Garlemald. Our experience
I feel like the music is quite loud. I need to turn it down.
Ongoing restoration efforts.
However, one pressing
I don't play
matter
during the
remains.
school year, so I know.
Calix's summoning ritual was tied to a concept of his own creation. Ascian involvement is assured, but we have yet to ascertain the extent of their influence on the Ninth.
I have done what I can to treat the enthralled and those still afflicted with Levin sickness, and may now devote my undivided attention to an
Where is Stream Elements
investigation.
getting this link from? Thank you, Talia, for the Prime sub. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Then we shall leave this one in your
Very
capable
kind.
hands. Do let us know if you turn anything up.
Ishtora.
It's Erenville. My time in Tural is at an end, so I'm headed to the harbor now.
Is it just me or is his accent a bit stronger all of a sudden? Hi, Blessing.
We'll meet again. Of that I'm certain. Until then, I wish you safe travels.
Promise you'll look after yourself. You could let me know in time to see you off. Don't be like that. You know his mom.
Words of
Doesn't even matter though. Like, why are you explaining anything to him?
Hey! What do you think you're doing?
Sorry to interrupt, but I thought you'd like to know. I've detained the fugitive. He promises to tell us before he sets sail. Only
No
to try and
voice.
sneak aboard his boat with nary a hug goodbye. Cold bastard. But there's still time before they weigh anchor.
That boy. We should make for the harbour ere he wriggles free of Lamachi's grasp.
Not them trying
If
to
we're
force
heading the
love
same way,
upon
we
him.
might join
I
him on
love
the
it.
ship. Good company is always welcome on a long voyage, is it not?
Why is your icon green? Strange. It's just pure green. There's no. George, thank you so much for the gifted sub on YouTube. Sorry, I missed that. Thank you.
What? Now? I haven't finished packing.
Knowing you, the essentials are already accounted for.
He's always prepared.
Fine, if we must. But you're
Speak louder. Oh my god, is it just me or she's...
You've decided on a souvenir.
She's giving a bit more grown up all of a sudden.
Several ideas as it happens.
Ever aligned in purpose, if not execution.
No, I think it was just loading, slow loading. Speak louder. I don't think I could be any louder than this. I'm so sorry. I can't find the mic for this camera.
To continue our study of the key, naturally. By all accounts, Preservation's facility promises to yield some answers.
Shale has been conducting a more thorough examination. She may have insights to share. Then why not invite her along to see everyone off? Surely she'd want to be there too.
$69 is crazy though. I'd be streaming. What the heck? Okay. With the wind, where am I? Let's take the teleporter to Neonstein. Talia, did it reignite your interest enough to actually start MSQ? Did it? Hi Elijah, how's it going? What's new, noob? Can't imagine you brought an entourage along to simply say hello. They're eager to be on their way. They're that eager to be on their way, are they? I'll join you. I owe them thanks on behalf of Oblivion after all. And there I thought you would protest against being parted from your work. While I'm curious to see what emerges once every piece of the puzzle's in place, the majority of the files we've on Earth are encrypted and there's little else I can do until the computer's finished with them. Besides, unlike our friends, Containment Complex 10 to 29 isn't going anywhere. In other words, we won't be getting any answers today. Afraid not. It's going to be a while yet. Then shall we depart for Tulilila Fort Worth? Even Lamati's strength has its limits. I mean, she's been through so much. Without further delay then. But I'm debating streaming just... okay. You can save memory space by just uploading it. You know what I mean? Better yet, you could just put it on YouTube. Right? You could do like a private YouTube stream. That could also work. And then you could just have access to it on the clouds. Winds. Because I think there's a limit for your Twitch now, isn't there? Which is kind of annoying. Can I sing? No. I cannot. What's the closest shot? I can whistle. Is that the thing? And I can hum. I said I was gonna reduce the volume for the music, but this is too good, man. I wish you all would not make such a fuss. I am not fond of emotional partings. He's so cute. Oh my gosh. Hi, Alex. At least Alvino and Elisa were considerate enough to inform me of their plans in advance by link Pearl. Some people we know would have burst out of crate mid-voyage. Who's that, Lavati? In any event, I shall wait here until they finish their preparations. She burst out of a crate. That's insane. Hi, Misery. How's it going?
There they are.
Oh, the ones that actually announced that they were coming, but the last to arrive. That's mad.
I'm hale as ever. And busy with work.
I imagine there's no shortage of affairs to put in order.
Is it just...
Are Kona and Galulja faring well?
Is his voice deeper? Well, Alex would know because he's listened to the progression of the voice acting recently. Do you think his voice is deeper?
Kona is off to survey our nation and its peoples. He
Kona? I've been saying Kohana.
and hear their thoughts on our policies.
You haven't noticed, huh? I may try something more interactive, but maybe cozy for... That's fair. Did you ever finish your 15 gameplay?
And Galulja's really taken to his training. I feel like he's been spending more time with the Landsguard than me lately.
It could be the headset as well.
Standing here, I cannot help but remember the day of our arrival
Oh,
in
I love this.
The rite of succession feels so long ago.
The aperture background. I wish they would pan back to Alfie. Yeah, I think they did really good with the lighting. I agree. See? Look at how good I look! Oh man, I didn't get to the screenshot fast enough.
What would happen between
Hi,
my
Sam.
father and Zorolja, nor of Alexandria and its queen.
She looks so good. Love my nose pin, thanks.
It was to aid a naive claimant that you came to Tural. But you've done so much more for me. For the entire nation of Tuliyollal. We owe you a greater debt than we can ever repay.
Hate it like a stream.
But that doesn't mean we can't try. Whenever you need an ally, we'll stand with you.
Allow me to echo that sentiment.
I'm just prepping for tomorrow's cover photo.
Not only were you kind
Oh, she
to me
looks so
when
good.
I awakened a stranger in
Oh,
my
put
own
it back
land,
on. You shut up, please.
you extended your grace to Alexandria again and again.
Everyone gets a screenshot.
And on behalf of myself and my people, thank you for curing the ailment that for centuries tormented us.
I'll look forward to our next visit. I'm sure we'll have exciting stories to share with one another.
My PC's just bare screenshots, man. It's so sad.
Ever since I introduced you to Wuklamat, you've faced no end of hardships. Many of them hurtful.
Sounds like a curse. I don't think that's a very nice thing to say, Aaron. Oh my god. Poor Lamati.
Yet I feel no remorse, only gratitude. For without your aid, I would not have had the chance to say goodbye.
Thank you, George.
Nor
Ah,
wild to
Aaron.
explore every corner of the world. To see what we haven't seen. Shall we?
Oh my god, he's perfect. Except he's such a coward. Oh my gosh, can't stand it. Oh, that's a cute Lara.
Rest assured, upon arriving, we shall make it a priority to visit Tataru and assuage her myriad fears.
Oh, that's
I expect the sight of you two will be a balm for her worry-laden heart.
Safe journey.
Oh,
Give
sorry.
my regards to Oblivion.
Thank you for the follow.
And thank you for all you did for my mother.
Hi, Tammy. Oh, Tanmei, sorry. Hello.
Come back soon! Take care!
That was a proper send-off. Now, time to get back to it.
Duty ever calls for she who loves her realm.
Hi, Pigsteel.
Right. Though, if you need a break, you're always welcome to visit Tulihiola. I'll give you the grand tour. I guess they're really over. Your adventures in Tural.
Except
I
if
remember our
Anasian just
time
randomly
together
shows up.
For the rest of my days.
Oh.
Aha! Power resolve spotted!
The Lance Guard is looking for you. It's sparring time.
Oh, good thing you're here then. Can't miss that.
So let's go already! Everyone's waiting to see the Vow resolve in action!
Sorry, I have to go. Till next time.
Yeah, I'm okay, thanks. Sorry. I'm hyper focused on the gameplay at the moment.
Thus do they take to the winds.
To follow their own paths in their hearts, as they should.
Into the mist. Oh, thank you. She never fails. She's a baddie 24/7. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Now it's our turn to take the next step. Mr. Thomas from Narnia looking... Really? Are you describing yourself? The question is in what direction, and that is a matter I should like to discuss with you. Oh. Wait, how is my inventory looking? Money, always. have that. I need to clean out my inventory. Oops. If I may, I think it prudent to discuss our future plans elsewhere. What is that? What's popping up on my screen? Eorzea has been added to the unending codex. We're liable to hinder the dock workers here if we linger. Perhaps the beach would be more appropriate venue.
Tis truly a beautiful place to roam.
An endless ocean and ever-changing sky. First time I saw them, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was like I was walking among images from our oldest records. And beyond that horizon,
Spice, thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate it.
That one I still struggle to imagine.
We ourselves hail from beyond that horizon, in fact. Rather, most of us do. I merely thought I did. Oh, that's right. I can only imagine how it must have felt to learn you're a native of our world. The fact that I wasn't born in the land where I've spent most of my life has taken time to sink in. 'Twas not until I met my parents in living memory that the truth of my origin began to feel real. Your experience is not unlike mine. When first I awoke, the realm everyone spoke of sounded nothing like my own. I had to walk its streets, live and breathe it, before I could accept and embrace my new reality. And for me to embrace mine, I need to learn more about my people, the Milala. We should come upon more information in the course of studying the key, but as Shale's investigation of the containment complex is still ongoing, would you mind if we sought a different avenue of inquiry into the history of the Ninth?
I have no objection. What we learn will deepen our understanding of the broader picture.
Agreed. My curiosity extends well beyond our duty to assess Ascian influence.
If it is knowledge of the Ninth's past you seek, I have an idea where to begin. Alexandria was originally part of a landmass known as the Mist Continent. This continent had been left in ruins in the wake of the storm surge, with Alexandria the sole nation to survive the devastation. The calamity of lightning that ravaged the world.
Aye. Per the sources we recovered from the Underkeep, though the conflict between nations was destructive in its own right, it was Levin that dealt the final blow.
Hi Bilal, how's it going?
No place was spared its fury, and all was chaos in the castle town. We tried to evacuate the people in airships, Otis, the knights and I, but we couldn't save everyone.
I never left.
Those
How long?
who survived gathered within the barrier, and we took in as many foreign refugees as we could.
Explored a couple other new, streets.
Yet, despite the dangerous environment, our system showed that there were some few souls who ventured outside the barrier, into the lands beyond. Beyond? But we thought that was impossible. I was under the impression the star was scoured of life, that man could not survive outside the barrier.
Going by the records, the storm surge extended to every corner of the world. Nothing and nowhere was spared. If anyone did survive out there, it would have been an unimaginable trial.
And yet, those people must have been going somewhere. What if there was a refuge? A place that weathered the storm surge and rebuilt over the intervening 4 centuries?
Given Alexandria's displacement to the source, we had neither cause nor opportunity to survey the remainder of the continent.
Living memory
Okay,
remains
thank you.
physically in the 9th.
Thank you, Talon.
If we seek a means of egress other than the portal connecting it to Alexandria, perhaps it might lead us to the Mist Continent. Living memory was not transported here despite being atop Everkeep, in which case it may have been a physically independent space all along.
Meaning, another point of egress could well exist.
And if it does, someone has to be maintaining it. The mechanical soldiers, for instance.
Shall we have a chat with them and see what they know? If it please your majesty. Will you accompany us? If we do land upon the Mist Continent, I would feel much more assured with you at our side.
I mean, I've got nothing better to do, you know? I wouldn't miss it for 2 worlds. I would hate to see you obliterated by some lightning beasts. Anything for you, just say the word. Number 1. I got.
I thought as much. Into the great unknown we go then.
Got or gots? I would have work on my... Oh, sure. Well, you thought I left the game? Now that's settled, I'd best be off. I still need to check with decryptions errors periodically, so I can only stay away for so long. With Locke, I'll have plenty to share the next time we meet. Until then. Let the rest of us make ready for a potential foray and meet at Lino something. Thank you for the follow. Through the thunder. Where is that? What is that? Right there. It could be hidden under that node. Right. Ignore my undergarments. I don't know how to hide it. The dress just clips way too long. Oh, it's so pretty. Now that all the colors back. All the colors back, right? Yeah. Yeah. I knew you were breaking for Bloodborne. I was just working on my main. Right, so you're caught up now. Yeah. It's very pretty. I was like, how could you put so much effort into making it look so good and then you just turn it off? Like, what the heck? Do you not like nice things? I think I had to go into like, was it New Game Plus to actually see it like light up again or something. It's quite disappointed, but I'm glad it brought it back. This clerk has made itself available to answer our questions. Clerk, if one wished to descend to the surface from here, how would they typically do so. Living memory is currently detached from Everkeep and is operating independently while supported by its aerial suspension systems. There's both lift and Linode-based transit is currently unavailable. I apologize for the inconvenience. Despite its ability to remain aloft, perhaps living memory was never intended to function in this state indefinitely. If so, we are out of luck. Not necessarily. Lifts and Linodes were likely preferred modes of transportation, but that does not preclude the existence of the others. You love him on the face. I love who on the face? What does that mean? In the event of an emergency, how would we evacuate this facility? Good question. Consulting emergency systems. Living memory airship remains prepared to deploy should evacuation be necessary. He's surely so smart. Would your Majesty like to approach it? Was it approach? I'm not sure. An airship. Yes, please, as soon as possible. Thank you, Knight, for the show. Appreciate it. Hi. With Your Majesty authorization, the vessel can be readied for launch without delay. Allow me a moment to execute the bypass protocol. Damn. She says you shall not perish. Because this is an emergency. Okay. Now what? Right there. Safety tests have been successfully completed. Set in the Gate of Remembrance as initial destination. Vessel is en route. I mean, I've seen better looking airships, but this will do. Hi, Abby. Is that my airship? Oops, sorry, Your Majesty. It was purposely built for living memory. However, it was modeled after the vessel Your Majesty used during the Storm Surge era. Right. You understand what I mean, but I mean the regular face mask that girls wear. Face mask? Wait, what was the original message again? You love him on the face, and then you go, you understand what I mean, but I mean the regular face mask. Like, oh, what? I don't know what you mean. I actually do not know what you mean. A replica still does me good to see it. Not me insulting the royal carriage, royal airship. I don't know. I mean, the one that Sid showed up in was way more impressive in my opinion. I'm just saying. I will deploy the gangway for boarding. This way, please. I'm sure there's way many more airships that look better than this. Looks like a giant drum. Yo, look at the economics on this stuff. Okay, I thought the wings was clipping the round bit. You're a bit behind. How will you find 7.4? Yeah, I haven't played it in ages. I've left it for the most part. So, finally starting today. Actually, I just started like, what? Maybe 30 minutes ago? In order to reach the surface and bypass the storm clouds, I advise you brace for turbulence. Is it moving sideways? Bro, what kind of airship is this? Sorry, I feel like I'm bashing it a lot. The next dungeon, nice. Hopefully I can get to do the dungeon today. I might not be able to finish it though. Thank you, Sabi. Where the heck is it taking us? Yeah, I might be able to do it tonight, or hopefully. What time is it now? 11. Yeah. I do need to wake up early, so... You look very innocent, that's because I am. There's no look innocent. I am actually innocent. Okay, perfect. The Lala Wobble. If they got shields. Where did that come from? The ward Elise something something. What did she say? I've got logs. The ward Elise gave me is reacting. Wait, what? I am innocent. The heck? Have you ever seen me do any wrong ever? No. Though not to the extent of the 13, the etheric imbalance here is severed. Severed? Indeed. Thank you, Abby, for the heart. Me appreciate it. It does serve to impress upon one the marvel of the barrier. The lightning in heritage found is tamed by comparison. Okay, this makes very nice screenshots. Yeah, that's the perfect cover photo for tomorrow. Got it. A land where Levin reigns. Levin? What's Levin? Big what? Big guy. How's Karlak doing, by the way? I think she's missing her head. I've seen a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 content recently, actually, which is odd. I think I sent you a video today, didn't I? About the use of the tool we shall not speak of. A sobering side time to say the least, but I shan't turn back now that we've come this far. Money. Stocks, man. Beyond the mountains. Means lightning. Wait, in English or in this game? There are no structures, nor any other signs of survivors that I can see. I suspect the creator made this area unsuitable for habitation due to increased risk of flooding. It's Old English. I see. I thought it was a person. It sounds like a person's name. Levin? Raikiri. Who? I don't know her. Who's Raikiri? Am I gonna try Divinity? For sure. Then we should look further afield. In which direction do you think we might find the settlement? If we're at the edge of Alexandrian territory now, the closest city would be Trino, should it survive. This is a dungeon. Oh, okay. So we should get the dungeon right after this. As a city-state built on harbour, it was a nexus of trade and it remained neutral throughout the war. We Alexandrians always felt fortunate to have it in our neighbourhood, so to speak. Not unlike our Ratatan. Oh yes, Alfino has spoke of Ratatan before. It's near the South Sea Isles. The Malala's homeland, correct? They use... I see. Funny enough, it was also Trino where Malala's first found a home in our world. Right, truly. Yes, and though the Malala population in some elsewhere grew, most continue to feel a strong connection to the city. I'd like to think that some remains there to this day. Right. Clerk, is this ship capable of taking us to Trino? I shall run a flight simulation for the route to Trino. One moment. Ignore the dog in the background. Simulation complete. There is a near 100% probability that the ship would suffer catastrophic mechanical failure prior to arrival due to ambient lightning. My apologies. Did she say 100%? Did it? No, that was 100%. So it's GG's then. But we're still gonna go anyway, aren't we? Thanks for checking. In Final Fantasy, female. Tifa? I guess. I haven't played a lot of them, to be fair. I played 7, 13. No, I haven't say 13. Oh, actually, I saw an interview of the creator of Final Fantasy. I don't know how true that is, but apparently 13 is their favorite. Well, I've never played 13. 7, 14, 16. I did try. What was the Final Fantasy with Chaos? What was that one called? I tried it, I didn't like it at all. I stopped it. Tactics. Ooh, tactics. Tactics. This is someone that I really, really liked. I did like Agrias, but there's this thing where I still can't picture her face. Do you get what I mean? Like, I see like these pixelated characters, but I still can't give them a face. Agrias was cool. It was very powerful. And also the girl who married the guy who killed her. Actually, no, I take that back. No, she was annoying. Stranger of Paradise, that's it. Yeah, I did try to get into that one, but I couldn't, honestly. The lightning is very cool. Yeah, when it hits the water. Yeah. Well, I think it's water. I could be wrong. Claire. Where is Claire from, or which Final Fantasy is Claire from? If we cannot fly, then we shall have to walk. What? What? Trino lies beyond the mountains, but there should be routes that spare us having to climb. What did I say? The cave system, for instance, assuming it hasn't collapsed. Let's try that first. Ooh. Yeah, I did get really far into tactics, but I just couldn't finish it. And also, I was playing on PC, and I had some lag issues as well, so that definitely contributed to it. Why I didn't finish the game. The tunnel appears intact on the outside. Strangers of Paradise was really nice. Yo, I couldn't stand the constant chaos screams. Like, the main character seems like he wasn't all there. I'm so sorry. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. He just kept screaming chaos all the time. And I think it got spoiled as well. Like, if I remember correctly, I think he was chaos or something. There was like a plot twist where it was all in his head or something. I was like, I kind of knew this guy wasn't all there. You know what I mean? I didn't like it. It was too dark as well. It was a really dark Final Fantasy game. I said to you, I did finish Tactics. No, I think we're talking about Stranger of Paradise. I didn't finish Stranger of Paradise. Do we have no way of knowing what it's like further in? Mind you, stay alert for beasts as well. Given the barren surrounds, they're surely ravenous. Ooh, that was fast dungeon, no? Mr. Garland, is that what he's called? I didn't care much for him, honestly. He was a good-looking character, though. I like the boss. The boss cut. He had a boss cut, right? I couldn't stand his freaking obsession with freaking chaos. Kind of put me off, honestly. Anyway, I guess I'm alone. Am I doing this alone? God damn it. Oh, Alex, are you joining? You wanna do dungeon? You've already done this, haven't you? Zeolite, thank you so much for the heart. I appreciate it. Yeah, let's go, Alex. What did I just do? Oops, that was weird. Where did that vanish? What is going on? Why is that vanishing? Oh, it's fine. Friends list. I'm clicking O, and somehow the YouTube or TikTok chat just keeps vanishing. How is that affecting TikTok though? What the hell? I am so confused. Like, the Alt key on my keyboard is turning off my TikTok chat for some reason. Like, I can't open the friends list. So I have to go through the menu. Not easy though, that's good. I like easy. It's been a long day, okay? I need easy. Don't want to be stressed. Oh god, the list is always broken these days. No rush, no rush, no rush. Yeah, but that was never a thing. I never had an issue. I don't have a key binded. My subscription is dead right now. Are you on EU, Ren? I'm always looking for more EU friends. Check out me. Well, you saying you're not in game yet? Is that what you mean? Or are you coming physically here? Yes, please. is so weird. It wasn't doing that like 5 minutes ago. Hotkeys. Okay, there's a toggle to just turn it all off. So I've never used them anyway, so I've turned it off. Christ. Okay. And I think I crashed for a second. Did I crash? Are you on Chaos? Alba. Morenita. I did crash. That's weird. Probably the hotkey issue as well. Oop. First name? Spriggan, perfect. Alba. Is there a space there maybe? No. First name? Oh, okay. Okay, let me find Alex. Thank you for the follow, Alex. Gosh. Is Alex like a really popular name? Do you have issues with like everybody around you being Alex? Is that a thing you experience? Alex number 1. Congested. Damn, Chaos is popular today. What's going on? Hi, Fabian. Hello. Nah. Really? Because we have 2 other Alexes in the community zone. Sometimes I wonder. Sometimes, yeah. So the other Alex that has this issue. My name is also very popular. Well, not very. It is popular, but it's a masculine name. So it's rare to see another woman bearing my name. I don't know what my dad was thinking, really. I don't have an issue with it. I like my name. But it's just not very common for women. There we go. But I do like my middle name. I wish that was actually my real name, but yeah. Yes. Okay, did I accept? I'm clicking it. I thought it comes up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Oh my god, what is happening? What is actually happening right now? Is it my keyboard? Too late, Alex. You've got competition. Too late. Okay. Your name is WWE ready. What does that even mean, Infila? What does that mean? Oh, perfect. I'm gonna go... Bruh, this is so weird. Like, I'm still trying to comprehend that you can wear different job outfits for different jobs now. Because now I'm on a summoner role and I'm wearing a full dancer glam. Like, I still can't wrap my head around it. It's a good thing, but it's just I'm struggling to keep up. I don't know what I want to play. Yeah, it doesn't matter anyway. Just in case, right? Because we had a cutscene before where the dancer was holding the chakram to hit a node. So I don't want to hold a grimoire if that were the case, so I'm gonna go with dancer. Easy. Okay. Ready? Check. Yeah, so hopefully we get the healer in the queue. Funny how the NPC option is the first option now. Mist Wake. Ooh. Do I need repairs? No, not really. I can heal. Okay. Let me withdraw. Up to you, honestly. Whatever you're comfortable with. Whatever tickles your fancy. Hi, Dasari. Hello. Okay. Yeah, I just restarted my keyboard and I think that fixed whatever issue I was having. So weird. Like it wasn't working in the game, like it was prioritizing every other app that I have open instead of the game. Strange. So it wasn't a TikTok issue, it was just my keyboard. I'm not sure what happened there. It's so dark here. Ignore my inventory, please. Please. Oh my gosh, I hope we don't get like nice things dropping in the... I mean, to be fair, I still have remnants of like the housing thing. That's why. I was gonna pull out the sun. Million guides. Okay. Oh, I can't summon here. Wow. What a miserable place. So we're missing a tank. Yeah. I don't think I've got the right item level for a tank though. Ooh, where is she? Where? Where? Okay. Damn! Instant pop! That's crazy. Instantly. Here we go. That's some really, really well designed cave. Surely there must be survivors down here. She is dressed in white. Is she getting married? There. Wow, nice portrait, Alex. Oh, I'm clicking every... It's a default. I know. It looks like a mock shirt. Like, there was a time I was actually interested in, like, taking my time and doing them properly. Just never stick, you know? Electric mine. Oh, not the Spriggans. I they like pests or something? Like, why are they here? Oh, I need to sneeze. Never mind. Let's go. For this boss. Is that an eyeball? Hide behind rocks when it goes all white. Okay. But avoid rocks when you have electricity on you. Okay. No rocks, electricity, white rock. Okay. And goes all white. I still don't know what. Ooh! Oh wow, that hurt. No idea what that means. I guess it's me. Oh wait, no rocks, electricity, no rocks, right? Okay. Simple instruction. White rocks? Right. Why did I think that meant oh shoot. Brave by impact! I thought the animal itself was gonna go white. Oh god, the rocks are always miles away! I don't like sharing. Find your own rock. It's from Final Fantasy IX, I see. Another earthquake. Ah, is it? Honestly, I could play Final Fantasy IX and I still wouldn't know. I think we were playing a dungeon a couple of days ago and Talion was telling me, oh, this boss is from Final Fantasy VII. Do you remember? I was like, no. I have better things to think about, okay? I'm not thinking about freaking tank looking boss. What do you mean? Oh shit. Get away from my rock! This is mine, I saw it first. Our rock. Oh god, I don't think I'm gonna survive whatever this is. Okay, never mind. Thank you, Xeon. Because you tank so good, or you heal so good. Oh lord, there's so many overlapping. Oh, it's dead. Can you remove your debuff then? God damn. Easy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is one elaborate rock, isn't it? Or underground. It's got a sky and everything. Or are we outside now? I thought we were inside a cave. It is a cave. Interesting. Hi, Matthew. The lightning going off from every direction is actually crazy. I should probably roll on that. Oh, what did I just do? Anything good? Down 55. I already have the headpiece, so... Well, this is not even a job that I need anyway. Yeah. Are these all... I should probably focus, sorry! Can I just grid on everything then? Okay. I'm listening. Oh, this one's so cute. It's like a Pokemon. The only real mechanic is it will dash and also put up balls. Whose balls? What are you doing? What exactly are you doing? Dodge the dash and the balls will explode when it goes through them. Okay. Okay. As long as there are warning signs that the dash is coming. Oh wow, it's a horse. Kinda. With fins? The balls will be green. Okay. Cool looking horse. Telegraphed multi-dashes. Let's bring a torch. I couldn't tell which side was saved. Sorry. Oh, right. Right. I think I'm safe. Oh, well. Not that one. Oh! I think I'm dead. Oh, the green balls! Oh god, this is a lot. There's so much happening. No! Of course, of course. Head must be gnarly. What does that mean? My head is gnarly? Gnarly doesn't sound like a good thing. Not too late. Oh no. Bad. Oh, both DPS are down. Oops. Thank you. Oh, I'm playing Summoner. Oh, sorry, Dancer, so I can't rage. Sadly. Oof. This again. Oh wait. We're in done. Hi Java. You changed your profile photo? This is kind of hard to read. Oh shit. Wait, stay there. Wait, no, crap! I still got hit. God damn it. The summer was just a little bit too late. Oh. A little bit too late. I'm hungry. Same. So am I. What the heck is the Internet Awards? What even is that? Internet Awards. Is your new streamer logo nice? Is it a wipe? Oh, okay. GG's. It's an annoying one, but I enjoyed it. I died. I did it. I died. The third boss is pretty easily telegraphed. That's good. I like easy. Hey Lala, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. Oh, you doing good? Sorry I missed the event Saturday. I was busy. Rooftop anyways. Oh, so good. It went really well actually. It went really well. The person that was co-streaming with came with a bunch of people, so that's good. I'm doing okay, thanks. How about you? I was gonna message you today, like I kept thinking about it and I kept forgetting. Like I would literally pick up my phone and I'll be like, oh, I need to message Lara, and I just forget again. I'll message you tomorrow probably. Just to confirm. Hi Monty, thank you for the heart me, appreciate it. I know. I swear it happened like 3 times as well, that's the funny part. And I know I kept going on the Instagram app, but I just keep forgetting why I was there. Thank you for the heart me, Java. Yes. To see if we're still on. Because my sister was telling me it's gonna rain on Friday because she was trying to get me to go somewhere else. Because I think everybody got a bit excited with the little bit of sun that we had today. It was glorious. I loved it. I loved every second of it. I know, apparently it's gonna rain. It's like, come on, it's so sunny today. How did it rain? Yeah, everybody was out. I loved it. I don't know how heavy though. They just said it was gonna rain. I didn't bother checking to be fair. Just like, well, that's great. Maybe it will be a good thing. Maybe it will be less crowded outside. Yeah, I'll have to take the weather ad. I know. I mean, it's not even that. It's just so unreasonable weather sometimes. I don't think I don't think we enjoy talking about it. But the rain is just so dragged out. Like where I'm from, right? Like if it was raining, we would get like heavy rainfall for like 5, maybe 10 minutes. Like it would be like pissing down, right? And that'll be it. That would be it. But in the UK, it just drizzles for hours on end and it's so miserable all the time. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the weather. I'm really not. And also, I don't want to call in it as well, so I just cancel everything. Sounds cozy. I mean, yeah, if you're indoors, but Alexa. It's a giant dodo bird. Survival of storms. It's a griffin, right? My bad. Thank you for the marvelous job. I appreciate it. Marvelous confetti. Thank you. It's very kind. Has a lot of big AOEs. Fantastic. Oh shit, I'm going the wrong way. What's that one doing? Sorry. Partly sunny. Okay. So not all that miserable. Here we go. 11. Okay, I don't mind 11. Today was about what, 13, 16-ish? It was beautiful. Perfect weather. spring is almost upon us. Can't wait. Am I safe? I think this is still safe. Kind of. Pretty close. Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, it's just a train ride for me as well. Sorry. Couple of stops. Should be good, so I don't have to be. Ooh! I shouldn't have to be in the rain for too long. Just on my way to the train station, I guess. One angry bird, isn't it? Oh, nice. I don't know how much we can do though. It's like a profile, right? I will assume it's a profile. But yeah, I guess I have to dress up then, just in case. Actually, I don't even think I have anything, but I'll find something. What the flip is that? Oh my god. Am I safe? Oh, I don't think so. Okay. Oh, thank you, birds. Bird lover. Ooh. It's -1 degree Celsius in New York. That's mad. Okay. I'm surprised I haven't died yet. I'm barely paying attention. I know. It's doing crazy damage. Thank you, Lala. I'll message you tomorrow. I'll check the weather and check in. Take care of yourself. Sorry, Alex. I'm making your job extra hard. Skinny, I am skinny, but do you see the size of his AoEs? Sheesh. Go away. Just in time. Come on. Just die already, you crazy bird. GG's! Well played. It rained, then snowed yesterday, then today it was 50s. Wait, 50s? So, Ew, what is that noise? What is that? What is that fanfare? That's different. Thank you for the confetti, I appreciate it. Java. Should I be excited about this fanfare? Oh, he's from 9. Oops, sorry. I wasn't trying to be rude. I just didn't recognize it. It sounds ancient, you know, with like older instruments, basically. It's cute. Thank you, Java. I appreciate it.
And the perimeter is clear. Good work, everyone. And a big thank you to our helpers, whoever you are.
Thank you, Alex, and I can't remember the name of the person who joined.
Now,
Alba?
we have a tiny bit of clearing up ahead of us. You know what to do.
Yeah.
Our helpers.
How do I say your name?
Will be
Furious. Is
being
that Furious?
watched?
So the city endures. And it is in much better
Thank you,
shape than
Furious.
expected.
9 is ancient. Okay, so I wasn't completely off then. I mean, look at this. Into the deal. I mean, how could you not be? The
Impressive,
story is so
considering
good.
the destruction without.
No worries. Thanks for helping. I appreciate it.
The people here must have gone to great lengths to maintain all of this.
If I don't finish it tonight, I'll try and finish it tomorrow.
Resembles that of
It's almost midnight
Alexandria,
now.
though it is smaller in scale. And not quite as effective, if the breach we witnessed is any indication. I fear such incidents may be common here.
Thunderous heavens! It's been years since we've had visitors.
Malalas. Why such big houses for such tiny people? Good night, Penny. Thank you for hanging. I want to take a screenshot there.
I am Miaili, the mayor of Treno.
Mayor? Not Oompa Loompas. How rude.
Welcome you to our city. And thank you for the assistance with our little monster problem just now.
Little? The green boss from the second boss still confused me. Yeah, I have no idea what was happening. I'm never gonna lie, Alex. I'm not gonna pretend like I knew what those balls were doing. I saw them there, but they were just there, I guess. Okay, can I take my screenshot? Ah, come on, too slow. Yeah. They're quite small. The way they waddle as well is so cute. Actually, it's almost aggressive in a way as well. It's like they're struggling to walk because their thighs are so big. They recognize Finn.
Might I ask your name?
I see. Right, they blow up. Right.
Though I have an inkling I know it already.
But of course, I am Sphene of Alexandria.
As I thought. It truly beggars belief. I once heard the strangest of reports from one of ours who went to Alexandria, you see. That despite the intervening years, the Queen had not aged a day. And sure.
Am I still alive? What the? Did my sub run out? What just happened? No mid cutscene. That is mad. Oh, oh right. Something happens with my network at midnight sometimes. I think that's just what happens. Like it's exactly midnight. What kind of tune is fast? I think. But it's just the game though. Like if it was my internet, stream would have crashed as well. Yeah, I think it's the game. I think it's the game. The entire thing just crashed. Oh no. Let me try and get it back up. Oh man. That means I need to open my browser because I need to log in. Sheesh. Okay. Bear with me. Yeah, I was actually gonna ask as well, like where would be a good place to did you crash as well? Are you in game? Alex. I was gonna ask what would be a good place to end for tonight, but I'm not sure what that was about. I do want to finish that cutscene at least. Hi Dream Boy, how's it going? Trying to get it back up again. Like even the client isn't loading. The client says a connection error has occurred. Please try again later. I'm gonna take a screenshot. It's so weird. Alex? Is Alex still here? What is going on? It's so strange. I might be able to show you the launcher as well. I think. Nope. Yeah, but Alex is also quiet now, so I'm a bit confused as to what's going on. Well, nothing has been announced. Actually, I could probably check the server status. This is weird. I mean, TikTok is still live, so that's why I'm a bit concerned. Yeah, I do. Is Twitch down? Are you not able to send messages on Twitch? It's not maintenance, right? The window, let me show you what I can see. Can I share the screenshot that I took? One sec. Is Twitch down? Is my Twitch down? I can see your message on YouTube, Alex. Really? That is so weird. So Twitch is down. And the game. But I'm still live on... Okay, now I can see the messages. But I'm still live on TikTok. You're still in the game. What the heck is going on? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't think it's my internet because I can still see messages, right? Well, Twitch is back now. Yeah, the game just crashed on me. And now the client is, the client shows something about an error. I'm trying to show you what the client looks like. Let's see. Game logo browse. Art captures. There. So that's what the client looks like at the moment. Yeah, I can see the Twitch messages now. Yeah. I'm gonna try again. Exit and restart it. Okay, now it's back. Now it's back. Let me try logging in. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna finish that cutscene and call it a night, really. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That was weird. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I still have access to that cutscene now. No, I think that we're like mid-conversation though. Yeah, mid-conversation. I hope so. Yeah, I'll have to go back to the inn if that's the case to see it again. So pretty. Cute. Oh, right where we left off. Perfect.
And the perimeter is clear. Good work, everyone.
Very well done.
And a big thank you to our helpers.
And I get to take my screenshot. Ouch, my leg has got numb. Completely numb. Oh my god. Yeah, right? That is pretty dope.
Clearing up ahead of us. You know what to do.
Our helpers, were we being watched?
So, the city.
Gonna skip to when the Malalas show up.
Impressive. The people.
They're and
Thunderous heavens! It's been years since we've had.
Dragons? Oh, we had a whole expansion with dragons. I don't think you've. How far have you going with the gameplay? We had a whole expansion of just like dragons.
The mayor of Trenor.
Oh, Heaven's Ward.
Allow me to welcome you to our city.
It was quite good, actually.
Thank you for the assistance with our little monster problem just now.
I think this dog hair on my face is really annoying. What is Final Fantasy all about? Well, it depends on the Final Fantasy. This one is about saving the world over and over and over and over again. And I'm the main character. That's good.
Might I ask?
I'm nowhere near where I need to be. I re-downloaded it and have to level up. Yeah. Wait, I shaved the beast. I did.
As
I
I
did.
thought.
It was so bad, Alex. It was so bad.
Believe I once heard.
Especially Coco, because she's got like really straight hair. Like it gets really bad very fast. So they'll be looking nice and clean for spring. You know, new beginnings. Hi Sahil. Oh shoot, I think I've skipped past where I haven't.
I imagine it won't be an easy one to tell. But please.
I need to pay attention now. Thank you for the follow.
What happened to Alexandria?
I see. From your perspective, it must have looked as though we were wiped from the face of the star.
Dylan, thank you.
One day, we lost all contact with our people in Alexandria.
I'm Nigerian.
Scouting party sent to investigate reported that not only the barrier, but Alexandria itself was gone. There is...
Oh shit. Sorry.
What you must have gone through, not knowing what became of us. But know that Alexandria yet survives, albeit in a distant land. Her and her people. I can tell you the whole tale from beginning to end, but first, might I ask your permission to remain in Treno for a time?
Of course you can. You and your companions have already done us a great service, and are more than welcome to enjoy our hospitality. Now, how about we continue this at Town Hall? We needn't keep standing in the middle of the street.
I shall join them.
Oh, she looks good.
Even with the precautions we've taken, it remains to be seen if Sven's condition will remain stable. I suspect, however, that the rest of you would rather be out and about. Consider this my blessing.
In light of our purpose here, a tour of the city is indeed in order.
Hi, Lauren.
I presume you have no objection? With your permission, then. But before we go...
It takes screenshots from every angle.
Allow me to introduce myself as well. I am Cryle, and I hope to learn more of this city and its people.
Do I have WhatsApp? Why are you asking me that question? Hi Naoki, welcome in.
Would it offend if we were to ask a few questions? Perhaps as we work alongside you, aiding you in whatever ways you may require.
No, I'm not gonna give you my phone number, the heck? That is so random.
You needn't.
Imagine if I give my phone number to
Treno
everyone
folk are
that comes
as
into
friendly
chat.
as they come. As for aid, if you're willing, you might speak with my grandson Lummel. That was his voice you heard earlier. You'll find him serving herbal remedies to the others.
I was just saying on WhatsApp that you could call me when you can talk. I won't be doing that. I am so sorry. I don't call anyone.
Thank you for your guidance.
That will not be
We
happening.
shall seek him out first.
Usually, George, no. Usually we get those messages on YouTube. It's quite shocking that that's coming through on TikTok today. Like on YouTube, it would be like, oh, okay, it's just another YouTube comment. You can now use mounts. Okay. Screenshot saved. Screenshot saved. Screenshot saved. Where do you want to go? In the town hall. What, George? There we go. Thank you, George. Yeah, that is strange. Alright, it's a pen. I was wondering what that was. Neither did I, George. That was a bit weird. A bit random. This one's coming along something. Oh, very stylish. Hello. If it isn't our new friends, thanks again for making short work of our foes. If you've gone to the trouble of seeking me out, I can only assume it's for good reason. For containment. You want to help me? Odd. But I'll consider it before anything else though. Is this spoilers? I mean, if you haven't played 7.4, then yes it is. How far have you gotten with the game? I must insist you drink our signature remedy. Jesus Christ. Sleepless Rhapsody. Everyone's a fan. Really? Really? You may find it the tastiest touch too sour for your taste, but it will set you alright. Really? Just a tip. Just tip it down your throat. Really? No. We've been here before. Every time I took a drink from a random NPC, I die. Or I get kidnapped and somebody takes over my body. She's not gonna drink it, right? It won't hurt, sure. You have my word. But since it's your first cup, maybe don't stray too far before you drink it. Oh, and don't turn your back for the best results, you understand? No, I don't understand. I don't think I want to drink anything. Oh, shoot. Where is it? Key items? Sleepless Rhapsody. Is that just code word for eternal sleep, where I never wake up? The NPC looks innocent. No, he doesn't. He looks like the sort that would sell, you know, stuff in a random corner. Don't let them fool you. Lalas are not to be trusted, you know. I'm just being honest. Thank you, Dilly, for the love you. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's very kind. Do I play Hearts of Iron 4? I don't know what that is, no. Thank you, Dilly. Appreciate it. Thanks for the heart me as well. How bad could it be? I mean, from experience, very. I'm an aura male and I look like a thug. Damn. Not you stereotyping. It's hard to make friends. In the game? I could be your friend. Look at him. I don't trust him. He's cute, but I don't trust him. I mean, I have to do it, don't I? I really don't have a choice. For the plot. Oh, we're all drinking. Great.
Well, what do you think?
He has a voice.
It's a traditional Malala recipe.
I didn't expect that voice from that face. Refreshing, sour, delicious. Shower? It's shower or sour? Poetic Justice, hi. Oh, you mean in the game? Right, sorry. I thought you meant like your real name. You can't judge them all by one person's action. Actually, have I been wronged by a Lala before? I think there was an expansion where we had like, oh yeah, the dinner with Nanamo and the Lalas in ARR. I think that's where my fear of them comes from, actually. It was a very terrible experience. So you can't blame me. Do you get what I mean? I'm kind of slightly traumatized. Somebody lost a whole arm in that cutscene. Do you get what I mean? Anyway, I'm gonna go the third one. Yeah, the Loporids,
No
not the
need to
Lopor.
pretend. I'm not that thin-skinned. Just do your best to keep it down.
Bro, what the heck? Why are we drinking this? Lolorito, yeah, that one. I mean, he's so cute. Oh my gosh, look at that face.
I'm put in mind of the gelatin I had at the studium. Nutritious, they assured me.
Hi, Jabba. Thank you so much for the. Sorry, I said hi. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate it.
I can relate all too well.
What are you saying? You hate everything inside. Do you remember the cutscenes from Shallian, where they were having like the whole feast? Apparently, he didn't have any taste, but he didn't hold back, did he? He ate every single thing and was asking for seconds.
It's not unlike the syrup leader used to make. Black as pitch and sour as sin. Though, there's no better cure for fatigue.
Thank you, Java. Today is my science board exam in India. I'm really scared. Good luck. I hope you come out in flying colors, Lumi.
You know, Raha, going to bed at a reasonable hour would be the best cure.
They look miserable.
Oh, that's... I do feel shockingly refreshed.
Wow. Delia, thank you so much for the Go Populars. I appreciate it. My mic's not on. It is. Sorry. It's just I'm very far away. Thank you, Delia. I appreciate it.
Perhaps it stimulates the body's ability to process ether and hastens regenerative functions.
That sounds like a drug that I don't want to mention.
Indeed, it does. It also
Masking the
counteracts
pain.
some of the effects of excess lightning. and
Happy
helps to
Wednesday,
calm the
Jay.
nerves
How's it going?
besides.
And Bloodborne. Bloodborne is done and dusted. We're doing good. Actually, are we? I don't know. My character seems like she's going to pass out any second now, but who knows? We'll see.
Which is why you serve it whenever there's a breach in the barrier.
Our Malala ancestors came from the lushest of lands, so they developed all sorts of natural remedies. We strive to carry on their traditions. And I'm sure you see why. Really hits the spot, doesn't it? Now, welcome to Treno.
Hey, we survived. Great. Thanks for the follow. I don't know. I feel like I should end here though. It's getting pretty late for me. I forgot to introduce myself, didn't I? Well, I'm Lumo. That was me announcing our victory earlier. And since... Oh, right. Okay. Since grandmother sent you to help with repairs, you will know I'm her grandson. Yeah, okay. Good. I'm in charge of resolving any problems the people of Trino may have. My favorite kinds of work include taste testing menu items. Did he just use us as guinea pigs? Carrying medium-sized objects, medium. Searching for lost possessions of immense value. Oh, and it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Thank you. Oh shit. Oh. Wow. Wow. Don't say a damn thing, okay? You sure your mic is setting up in the right direction? Yeah, can you hear me? Actually, I'm gonna end any second now anyway, so I'll try and find the mic. I don't know where it is. I'll spend like a couple of minutes trying to find it before I start stream, but I don't know where it is. You may now enter Mistweek with a party of NPCs and to make the use of feature trust. Have you played the demo Gonorrhea? Does that say Gonorrhea? Protect him at all costs. I'm still a bit on the fence about that, but I'll take your word for it. And the Elder Codex, I've never heard of. Are these games? I've never heard of them. Okay, I think I'm gonna park my character here. Also, where is here? Do I need to go pick up a shard first? Because I don't have anything to bring me back. Or should I just leave my character here? Oh, actually, he did say something about... Actually, the dialogue says something about coming to Mistwalk again, right? Or Mistweek. I don't know, it's gone. Anyways, I'm just gonna leave my character here. Thank you, Alex, for carrying me through. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave my character here. Through the dungeon. I will be back tomorrow night, hopefully. I don't have anything else planned. No. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday, whatever is left of it. Otherwise, have a good night and happy Wednesday. Good night. Bye. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate you. Good night, chap. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. It's currently 12:30 on my end, so 12:30 AM, so pretty late. So good night. Happy time zone.